Hi, and welcome to Reasons Are Debatable, where we look at one topic from many angles and offer bad advice that you didn't know you needed. My name is Matt.
And I'm Neil.
How you doing, Neil?
I'm doing great, Matt. How are you?
I'm fine. You seem a little flustered, like it was kind of late to get here to record, so I'm a little worried about you.
Well, it's interesting behind the scenes here at Reasons Are Debatable. We set a time to record, and we never seem to actually hit that time.
Yeah, it's like the world is against us or something.
I feel like somebody's against me. I'm not exactly sure if it's the whole world. It might just be the north left coast.
No, it's the little man inside of my computer. He's gunking everything up.
Little gerbils.
Yep, those damn gerbils. Anyway, you can find us on Twitter at Reasons Are, and Neil is
at AngelsFreak7.
And you can find all of our podcast stuff at reasonsaredebatable.com.
Sounds good. So this week, I thought we would talk about pets.
So let me ask you this.
Get after it.
No, you're going to ask me. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. So I've thought you have a pet right now.
I do.
A younger pup. How old is the pup now?
10 months.
What's the puppy's name? For those that don't know.
Rocky.
And named after?
I don't know if we had a name where that came from. I think,
okay.
It wasn't like Dwayne Johnson. It wasn't Sylvester Stallone. It wasn't anything like that.
Rocky and Bullwinkle?
No, it was just a name that came when we were circling names around. My only role in the dog acquisition process was that I got to veto any names I thought were stupid.
Oh, fair enough. And how many did you veto?
I'm trying to think what are the ones that we vetoed, or I vetoed. Maybe only like 2. I can't remember what they were, though. But they were kind of stupid. So I was like, let's not do that.
We're not doing Carl the dog or anything like that.
No, they were worse than that.
Oh, really?
It was just names where I was like, you think about it, and you're like, you're not going to want to call that out at a park and be like, hey, blah. Like, you know what I mean?
Sure. Well, I don't know because I have ridiculous dog names. So,
that's true, I guess.
I'm yelling out 9 and 0 and 7 and 6. It's crazy. Not all at the same time because some of them are dead. But did you have a pet growing up?
I had several pets growing up, as a matter of fact. There was actually one before, my family had one before I was born. The dog's name was Reveille.
Okay.
And because my dad was a big military school guy and went to Texas A&M, and their mascot's name is Reveille. And so he named his dog Reveille. They had some friends who got a very similar dog, maybe from the same litter, who was named Taps. So there you got the
very nice. Yeah.
Morning and the nighttime bugle playing, whatever that is.
And what kind of dog was Reveille?
A Sheltie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like kind of more black-dominated color, Sheltie. And so the Texas A&M mascot is a collie, so the bigger version of the Sheltie. And so they got Shelties, and Reveille was a very pretty young pup, and there was a dog down the street that was in heat, and Reveille would wander down there, and my mother would yell at him, whenever he'd scoot off away from the property like that. So one day she came out, she said Reveille, and he turned to run home to cross the street, and bam, truck.
Yeah, Reveille?
Yeah.
Wow.
So Reveille never saw it coming. So Reveille had a short life. I think only lived like a year or 2.
Oh, poor pup.
Yeah, so not so good. So then they got another Sheltie, which they named Aggie.
Okay.
A little more brown dominated. And Aggie was basically my dog my whole upbringing up to the age of 10 or 11, I guess. I think I was 10. So I think I might have told you the story before, but my parents sat us down May of my 5th grade year, so I was 10, I wasn't 11 yet, and had the family meeting with us to tell us that they were getting separated.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And this was the one where I said, who are we going to live with, and are we going to be poor? Those are my 2 questions.
Hey,
just because it's
good,
all about,
solid questions.
All about this guy right here.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm over the emotional part. I just want to know how that's gonna affect my day-to-day life.
Screw the both of you. But
it's fine. Yeah, like how does this affect my immediate situation?
Right.
I remember going outside in my backyard with Aggie and sitting there, and I like had my arm around Aggie, and I was like, that's just weird. Like I don't know how to, I'm talking to the dog. The dog's not talking back.
No.
Just listen. She's just a good
listener.
listening.
Just there for you. Listener. Just a shoulder to cry on.
Yeah. 1 week later, guess Aggie?
But
dead. Talk about a rough week.
Oh boy.
I mean, your whole life's ripped apart as far as your family, and then your dog dies, which the dog was older than me.
Did you see the body of the dog?
Oh well, we we buried the dog in the backyard.
The full body.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which
not cremated and then bury the
no,
ashes.
no.
Gotcha.
Which I don't maybe is frowned upon.
I don't know. A lot of people with property do that. I don't think it's a weird thing.
All right. Well, because up the hillside we buried Reveille. Well, it was before my time, but like just straight in the backyard, like it's one of those where you're digging and you hit the clay and you're like, oh god damn, how are we gonna?
Yeah. Is this deep enough?
Right. So I did
sticking up out of the ground.
No, just the ears, just the at attention.
Brutal. Yeah.
Aggie. Yep. So I helped in the burial. So yes, I did see the body, but it was brutal. It was like I said, it was like a week later. The poor dog had gone through hell not too long before that because I was out riding my bike, or no, excuse me, my brother was riding his bike in the cul-de-sac we lived in, and there was a German Shepherd named Chrissy who lived back behind us, who's very vicious looking dog. Used to bark at us anytime we went near that fence, and Chrissy got out. And Aggie was out running around with my brother, and he's on the bike. Chrissy came out, tore after Aggie, punctured her lung, took a huge bite out of her stomach. I remember my dad throwing open the door and screaming at Chrissy and coming out to get the dog and Aggie and lifting her up, and she was just a mess.
Oh, yeah.
So she had a rough go, but a very sweet dog. I've often thought maybe I would get a Sheltie again someday because they're very sweet dogs.
Now I was I was curious if you saw the body because I thought maybe parents are separated and they couldn't decide who takes the dog, and they're like, let's just get rid of it.
No, yeah. My mom found the dog. She came home from work or something, and we were maybe still at school or something. I can't remember. And she was just curled up in the bedroom, just done. Peacefully dead. Like I think it was a heart issue.
Gotta go. When you gotta go, you gotta go.
Gotta go. So, and then we were left with Randy, the cat.
I thought you were going to be like, my mom's brother-in-law.
No, it was my new stepfather, Randy.
And how did you feel about the cat? You
cat
like
was
cats?
good.
You a cat person?
I like the cats. Cats are easy.
Yeah.
They're not as loving, of course, but it depends on the cat. But they're just they're a lot easier to take care of course, and manage.
Did you or your brother or anybody have any other pets like mice or rats or fish or snakes?
We had a goldfish named Jaws, and because he was big, and then I had
all right, man, calm down. It was a goldfish.
I know. He wasn't deadly or anything. He was a big goldfish.
He was big,
pretty big.
Big fucking goldfish.
Pretty big. Then I think my brother made the mistake first, and then I made it later in getting an aquarium. Parents bought into that. I can tell you right now, if my kid was like, I want to get an aquarium, I'm going to be like, nope.
Not going to happen.
Because it looks cool for a while, and you get, some, can't remember all the names of the fish. It's all exciting. You go pick up all these different fish and blah, blah. You never want to clean that tank.
No, you got to stay on top of it.
Yeah, exactly. It's not worth it.
And very, very rarely do parents spend the money on the really nice filtration system. They get a bubbler and a few things, so it gets nasty quick.
Oh, really quick. And the kid's never going to clean that shit up.
No.
So, and then it's in your room and it starts to stink.
Starts to smell. Yeah.
It's not a good thing. So yeah, I never understood, because my sons have some friends that have all sorts of crazy animals, gerbils and hamsters and rabbits and all that kind of stuff. And I just never had the inclination to have a pet like that.
Well, let me ask you this. This is an interesting thing that I think about a lot. Do you think it's okay to have pets?
Oh, because
do you think it's okay? Go ahead.
Because they're basically at my will. I'm controlling them. I'm housing them. I'm putting them where they're supposed to be. I'm not letting them roam free.
I was going more for the roam free than they're at my will. I don't know what you do with your pets, but is it okay to have a bird and have it caged? Is it okay to have I know in Switzerland you can only buy guinea pigs in pairs because they're very social. They need something else. They need another pig to not get super depressed. And so I'm wondering, people. I mean, and even dogs. Is it? I know they're domesticated now, as with house cats and things like that, but. I mean, we don't know if the freaking dog, does it have freaking Stockholm syndrome? Is it just thinks it's happy because we're telling it it's supposed to be happy? I mean, it seems cruel to have birds as pets and mice and rats and guinea pigs and all of those things. So you're putting them in this tiny little area and thinking oh, I'm going to play with it and look at it 10 minutes a day.
Right.
And that's it. So I'm wondering, like, is it okay?
Well, I think anybody who has a dog is just a lunatic.
Mm-hmm.
And that includes you, includes
me. Yes. And I'm a self-described crazy lunatic dog person. So yes.
No, I understand why people have them. They're, very loving, and they
so much better than people.
Well, they don't ask as many questions.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Sometimes you've heard us while we're podcasting. Zira's asking questions the whole damn time.
That's true. That's a good point. They are, and they can be needy. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I've never thought of it with the dog because I always think, where would all those dogs go?
Well, okay. Let me just say, I don't mean we should just open the doors and just like let our dump the fish in the ocean, let the birds go. What I'm saying is, should we like all of a sudden just say, okay, this is not going to be a thing anymore, and once these domesticated dogs and cats and birds and all of this are gone, we're no longer going to pen up these creatures and keep them inside. We're going to let them be wild, natural creatures and not domesticate these things anymore.
So there's just the countryside will be roamed by dingoes.
Well, why aren't they now? Why are these countrysides dingo free? Do you think we're catching all the dingoes and domesticating them?
The only place I ever see untethered, like loose dogs that you don't know who they're supposed to be with is at the beach. There's always loose dogs at the beach. Ever tell you that story about that dog? We were at the beach in Oregon coast, and there was this dog that always used to roam around. He had 3 legs, just missing one. So he'd, hop around everywhere. People knew him. I don't know who he belonged to. And one night we were at this bar. Dog came in, kind of hobbled back to the little video poker area and just puked everywhere.
Well, had a tough night of drinking.
Telling you, man, beach dogs. Look
That's
out.
That's it.
Crazy
Freaking just living the life one wave at a time.
I don't feel like anybody should have birds.
I'm drawing the line in the sand.
Well, maybe it's just more like, I don't know. What's the point? What's the point of a bird? I just don't see it.
It seems cruel to me. I mean, it does.
Well, yeah,
it's like, hey, we're gonna clip its wings so it can't do the one thing that we wish we could do. I kind of feel like it's like, what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut off all dogs' legs at the knees, so they just kind of stay where you set them. They can't actually. They just drag themselves around. Yeah. Right. Yeah. It seems weird to me.
I feel like cats. I guess.
Now let me say, I don't think that people that have birds or cats or dogs don't truly love their pets.
Most of them, yeah.
Most of them. Yeah. I also think it would cut down on a lot of the pet abuse too, because no one would have pets.
Right. Well, Bob Barker been banging that drum for years.
Mm-hmm.
Have your pet spayed or neutered.
Neuter and spay yourself.
You're gonna probably need to neuter our dog soon.
Yeah. And cats. You were gonna start talking about cats, but cats are they're terrible for the environment.
Because of the litter?
No. No, because of how many other animals they kill. They're responsible for like the neighborhood cats, outdoor cats are responsible for the death of so many birds and
get rid of the birds. See?
Fucking birds. No one wants these things.
It's the circle of life.
That's right. Yeah, it just seems weird to me. It just doesn't seem like it's okay. I think this is going to be one of those things in like 50 years or 100 years. People are going to look back and go, wait, they used to just put animals in the house and lock them up?
Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't seem like one that's going to go away. I mean, it's easy to say that now. Like you said, things you couldn't imagine 30 years ago are totally different now. But I don't think the dogs or cats will. I have a feeling that I think mice, hamsters, guinea pigs, birds, I think those will go away because they're just in cages. What's going to happen to those guinea pigs, man? Where are they going to go?
Where are they going to go? Chinchillas.
Right.
No more chinchilla.
Oh, man, this is not good.
Yeah.
Well, then you got if I have to hear about that fucking tiger show one more time, I might lose my mind.
What show's this?
That goddamn tiger.
I'm just messing with you.
What's it called? Tiger shark? What's it called?
Tiger prawn?
Tiger dance.
Tiger Woods.
Tiger King.
Tiger King.
No.
That's it.
Is it?
Yeah, I think it is.
Okay. I haven't even watched it. I actually was interested in checking out what it was all about, but because so many people just drop it all the time and are just constantly talking about it, it's become one of those things where I'm like, well, maybe I won't watch it, you fuckers.
I'm going to really show them.
Yeah.
There's these people. There's thousands of people right now at home going, has Matt watched this yet?
Right.
And you're like, I'm not giving you the fucking, no, man, no.
You don't get the pleasure of me joining in and coming in late on your Tiger Shanks show.
But see, what'll happen is you'll probably end up watching it. And then you'll be that person that like discovered, what is it? Friends 17 years later. And now it's like, oh, do Joey and, Monica hook up or whatever their names are?
Did Joey and Monica hook up? Right.
Yeah.
That's
Ross
good.
and Rachel.
Ross and Phoebe and all those people.
Phoebe and Stinky Cat.
Yeah, and Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd was on there at the end.
Freaking so was Aisha.
It's his birthday
Tyler.
Today, isn't it?
Oh, poor. I don't know.
51st birthday.
Depends who listens to this at what point.
Well, that's true. Sorry, when you're hearing this, it's not Paul Rudd's birthday. It's not
his birthday
sorry,
anymore.
Sorry, Paul. You think Paul owns pets? Sorry, go ahead.
He might. So that's my view, our view, I should say, on whether you should or should not own pets.
But you had pets all along growing up, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay.
The first pet that I remember was a 115-ish pound German Shepherd Black Lab mix. It was a freaking tank. That was an amazing dog.
That's a big dog.
Big freaking dog.
Yeah.
Probably as big as your goldfish. I mean,
maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Jaws was pretty big, man.
It's a big goldfish. BFG, big fucking goldfish. And we also had a cat, Louie, of which I was very close to. But yes, I've pretty much had pets. We had a lull there when my sister was born because she kind of became our pet.
Oh, okay.
But then my parents got dogs again. When I moved out on my own, I got my own cat. That was my own
name.
Pet. Vladimir, named after Dracula.
I like when, especially cats have regular kind of names.
Yeah.
Which is why when we named Randy, it was kind of funny.
It was Randy, yeah. The cool cat. But yes, I've pretty much have always had dogs since I guess it was about 4 or 5 years I just had the cat. And then, since I've moved out, always had a dog.
So you're part of the problem.
I'm always part of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be part of the solution. That's like, oh, look, I'm going to be all good now.
Well, and when you decided to get dogs, were you like, I want like a really kind of annoying roommate? I'll get a dog.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
That's kind of how I look at my dog.
Yeah. You're like, I want something that can't really care for itself, but also just is really annoying.
Yeah. How do you deal with the messiness in the hair? I still don't get that because you're Mr. Clean Freak. I don't get how you'd handle that.
Right. Well, fortunately, you have always had short-haired dogs that don't shed a ton. Gotcha. So it's pretty easy with this. But like you have a retriever?
English lab?
Same thing. They're all the same.
Wow.
The hair's a little bit longer and like it accumulates quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it does. And there's thankfully the shedding season or the most recent one has ended, so it's not quite as bad now. But oh my God, there was a stretch there where you'd vacuum or sweep up, and within 36 hours, it felt like it was all back.
Hair everywhere.
It was everywhere. So disgusting. And he's kind of gross. He eats everything.
Next time you have to get a poodle. They don't shed as much.
No, I'm not getting a poodle. No thanks.
No, standard poodle?
There's certain dogs that are just not ever going to cross this threshold.
Standard poodle.
No.
What did you want the breed of dog that you have now, or did you get saddled with it because your wife wanted this breed of dog?
So did I want this dog or this breed of dog?
Both.
No.
Wow, poor dog.
I didn't want to get a dog. I'm going to be totally honest here with you, Neil. I did not want to get a dog. That was not my thing. It was my kids and my lady friend really wanted a dog, and they had been wanting it for a long time. And I was like, I guess I kind of got cut out of the decision,
Pretty
frankly.
much.
Yeah. So I didn't have really a choice other than the fact that I was like, well, at least she's getting a dog breed that I will appreciate. Because if she tried to bring a corgi in this house, I'd have fucking divorced her.
Or like a miniature poodle?
No.
Chihuahua?
Nope.
A little chihuahua?
Nope.
A teacup chihuahua.
I mean, I would say there's like 4% of dogs that I would have been cool with, and she picked one of them.
All right. What other dogs would you have been okay with?
I do like the Sheltie, but that's just a total nostalgia thing.
Right. Just want a throwback. They just have a throwback dog.
The Shelties are really good. They're kind of herding dogs, so they're really good at like kind of herding me and my brother around. We were little kids, and they're sweet dogs. They're very They're very good around kids.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of sweep the floor because their hair's so long and just
Right.
goes along. Yeah. But yeah, I would have gone for that.
Cool. How
I don't
about
know.
but you're more in the golden retriever, lab. That
The retrievers are a little more wild, so I was trying to get something that wasn't quite as wild. But this motherfucker, man,
yeah.
we got problems. I need to talk to you about training because this guy needs some training.
Yes, and you got to start early.
He's jumping up on things. He's barking too much. Why are you barking, man?
Why you see me barking? The big thing with dogs is and I'm sure you've heard this many times, they don't like maybe. It's either yes or no. If you have a rule, it's always no.
Right. And so it's okay. Somebody plays by that rule.
Yeah. Okay.
Some other people do not.
So then it's maybe, and then the dog gets confused.
Right. And so there's one alpha in the house, and then everybody else is kind of no. Right here.
Right. Oh, you. Okay. Gotcha.
Yes, because when I say shit, he's like, oh, okay. Like he's, he goes submissive on me.
Mm-hmm.
But when they do, he's like, I'm going to keep pushing these buttons. Let's just see how it goes.
Right.
That's what he does. The amount of times he sticks his nose in or tries to stick his nose in orifices is pretty shocking.
Yeah, that's kind of a thing, and it's hard. It's really hard to get dogs to not do that because they are just kind of checking out what's going on. They're not being rude.
Yeah.
But you can usually get your dog to where they can do a quick drive-by, and they don't actually bury their schnossage in your crosshairs, so to speak.
Man, he is constantly trying to go down on my lady friend. It's bad. And the old adage that they used to say was that a dog's mouth is cleaner than a human's mouth.
Right.
Okay, guy.
Well, it depends what that human was putting in their mouth.
I guess so, but this
maybe this was a big fan of like ATM, and they're like, "Trust me, the dog's mouth is clean."
Maybe that's the only explanation.
That's it.
I'm telling you, man, anything goes in his mouth, and the breath is just the worst. He's just constantly.
Oh, does your dog have bad breath?
He has bad breath. He's
really?
He's constantly either blowing himself or eating his asshole. I mean, it's a problem.
Oh,
then he's
my God.
Then he's like, let me give you a lick. No,
now I know how my dad felt when I lived at home.
See, I'm gonna drop him off at a scary movie and pick him up later.
Our dogs don't have bad breath.
No.
No.
What, you give him mints or something? Certs?
No. Well, we do teach our dogs to chew on blankets and stuff, so it keeps their teeth clean. Their own blanket, not just we just randomly let them go.
Usually the neighbor stuff.
People hate it when we bring our dogs to their house. Just chewing their beds.
Go find their comforter.
But no, our dog's breath, fortunately, it's not like it's good, but if Nine's burping in your face all the time, well, she was making out with you. It wasn't terrible.
Yeah. No, she wasn't. You're right. For some reason, though, this guy, the only thing that I take solace in with that is that I feel like he's kind of the canary in the coal mine for us because, when you get the virus, your sense of smell goes. So I'm like, I can still smell his shit-ass breath. So we're okay.
There you go.
Still healthy.
Still alive and kicking.
Well, can I say one other thing, too?
You can say everything. Hey, man, this is your show.
The lipstick has been coming out of the case a little too much lately, too. I mean, that thing just appears out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I get it, dude. We've all had the no reason boners. I get it.
Right.
One day I had to go drive to pick up these trophies I had ordered for the kids' sports teams that I teach.
Oh my goodness.
That I coach. Oh, that's just amateur shit right there. As you know, those new to the podcast might not. I coach a lot of my kids' teams and sports, and so I was going to get some trophies, and I thought, hey, Rocky, want to go for a ride? You can come with me. I get in my luxury Honda Civic and start driving there, and I look over. 5 minutes into the ride, I look over, hard as a rock. So excited. So
that's a good thing, though.
So then I'm like, okay, you got to put that away, man. So then we keep going, still there. I get the trophies. Like he's right outside the shop, so I run inside real quick, get the trophies, come back out, still hard.
He really likes car rides.
I guess that motherfucker
or
is
Honda
ready
Civics,
to rock.
one of the two.
So I don't know, because I was going to ask you, when you neuter, does that take the edge off the boners?
I think so. I've never had dogs that shot their cannon all that often. Like every now, it's always funny to me when it happens. Like Zero every now and then will be outside and he'll poop. And then he'll come up from the poop with just a raging stiffy. And I'm like, are you really excited to poop?
Had to go so bad.
I'm like,
bad.
What is going on with you? And then, of course, 9, she just has a little bean. She doesn't have.
Right.
But she does like to lick it.
Yeah.
Just to make sure it's there.
Well, that's part of the deal.
But I never noticed a difference for the dogs between before they got chopped and after. But maybe you just have a very... Although my parents had a golden retriever that was neutered, and that thing used to like to frickin' pump his blanket until completion.
Oh boy.
Yeah, he would do it for.
Geez.
I mean, I'm like, come on, you're putting us all to shame here, buddy. You should not. Let's not. We don't need 30 minutes of you doing that.
Wrap that up in about 2.
Yeah, let's go. Better. Come on.
Well, he used to grab his little dog bed that we actually use more in the car now, but he used to grab that thing and pick it up and give it a go. But he would do it for like 10 seconds, not to completion. He would just do it, then he'd stop, then he'd do it a little bit later, and he'd stop. So he hasn't done that in quite a while, but he's still, seems like he's raring to go. And so I just was curious if when you do the procedure, does it curb it? Because like when I got neutered, now this thing doesn't do anything.
It doesn't even. I mean, it's kind of a waste. You're like, should have just taken it off. Should have went like old school eunuch. Just
exactly. I was gonna say I will give him credit. He sleeps well, and that's the most important thing.
That is nice.
Yeah, because he's not like yiping at fucking 4 a.m. wanting to get up. We're like,
and housebroken.
Yeah,
good. Well, that's
pretty good.
That's a big one. Yeah.
Yeah.
What are your feelings on other people's pets? Like when you go to other people's houses and they have pets and they're, trying to snuzzle your sausage and.
Are you asking me if I'm down with OPP?
The other people's pets? Absolutely. Well, yeah, you know me.
It depends. If they're real jumpy and all over you, it's kind of annoying. And that's what I'm trying to avoid with our dog. Is I'm like, I don't want to be that house where they go and people are like, God damn it, man, they can't control their dog. He's constantly jumping up on me.
Right.
So trying to kind of sort that out. But yeah, that's the biggest issue I have with OPP is that. Otherwise, I'm good with other people's pets because I can leave.
That's it. That's it.
It's like maybe I should be a dog grandparent more so than a parent, because then it's like that. It's you get to play with them and stuff, and they're like, all right, see you later.
And do you have any friends that have pets that tell you how amazing and smart their pets are, kind of like their kids?
Yeah, like there's this couple in Napa.
Oh, we've never said our pets are very bright.
Just kidding.
We love our pets and we're crazy about our pets. We think they're awesome,
right.
But no, we're not.
You're very honest about your pets.
Yeah, they've got issues, man.
I know. I like your dogs. 9 and I had an especially tight bond, and so. But yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anybody that really boasts about their pets. More so the kids than the pets, for sure. Which
sure.
I guess is good, but even still is annoying.
It's annoying. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I think it always freaks me out when people go over their top about how amazing their dog is or cat or whatever.
Right.
And they do like oh my God, you've never met a dog like this, and it's like what?
Probably
are you talking about?
I probably have.
What? Yeah. And so who cares if I have or haven't? Just keep. Yeah.
Whoop-de-doo. Maybe do they make bumper stickers like that? Like my kid's an honor student at whatever is their bumper sticker for like my dog is the shit or something like that.
They have a bumper sticker that says my dog is smarter than your honor roll student.
Oh, I've seen that.
Yeah,
that's true. But that's more of a dig at the kid thing, and I get that. But I'm thinking, do people really boast about their dogs in that fashion?
I'm sure. I mean, I know like taking the actual training lessons or training classes, and you have people that are like just really, really into dogs. And yeah, they're like, well, my dog completed his service training in 12 weeks when it was supposed to take 14, things like that. Jesus. And you're like, okay. Oh, all right. Yeah. All right.
Great. How come I'm going to go now.
Yeah. How come your dog's peeing on your shoe, But there's definitely, and there's also, you get a lot of the, what is it? Rescue versus buy,
There's certainly judgment.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
I was judged many times.
Yeah. It's always interesting to me because I think as long as people go to a reputable breeder, reputable breeders are kind of needed if we're going to continue with this whole trapping animals in the house.
Right. The breeders are really the main part of the problem.
They are, if you think about it.
Well, I just remember when we got our dog,
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned it to my brother, and he's like, "Did you do rescue?" And I said, "No, we went through a breeder." And he's like, "Oh, God. Well, okay.
Right.
Thanks.
Yeah. Like,
Never mind."
I usually tell friends and family if they want to go through a breather, I just breather. If they want to go through a breather.
Whoa.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with their dog.
That could go in many directions.
Maybe
Let's
throw
not-
the
let's
dog
not
in a
continue.
smoker. I don't know. If you go through a breeder, that maybe donate a little bit of money to your local animal shelter to help
Sure.
some of those dogs out.
That makes sense.
But yeah, it's always interesting.
Wait, did you
to
say
me.
donate the dog to the shelter?
Yes, I think I did. Go buy the dog and then donate it to the
I'll
shelter.
give them the rest of the food I got.
That's it. But yeah, some people are very like, no one should ever go to a breeder. And I'm thinking, well, breeders are important to keep the dog lines alive too, for as long as we keep doing this barbaric thing.
Right, exactly.
So
Yeah,
otherwise,
I'm with you there. I think it's really interesting, and we'll revisit this in 50 years.
mm-hmm.
We'll look back on this episode and think, look at that, Neil nailed it.
We were terrible.
We don't do
people.
pets anymore. We were awful.
Mm-hmm.
You might
Yeah,
be
he
right.
nailed it while he has 2 pets.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah.
Just don't get any more.
I mean, that's it.
You better not get any more.
And, and then there's, of course, in dealing with pets, you deal with a lot of like, especially in dogs, like Pit Bull, Doberman, Rottweiler, German Shepherd,
Yep.
mean breeds versus nice breeds. Should they be outlawed? Should they not? Which is always a thing.
Yeah, I talked to you. I mean, Zero and I got along well because I just respected him. Was like, I'm going to stay over here and not bug you. No. But I think I told you before, I had a buddy who had a Rottweiler, and at first I was like, Jesus Christ, that thing looks fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
But then by a week later, the dog was licking my face, and it was fine. There's just a lot of it has to do with the owner. I don't like calling him an owner. What do you want to call it?
Right.
Caretaker?
Adoptive parent.
Adoptive parent. There you go. But it's, I don't know that it's, certainly you could say that there are, I don't know, there's something in certain breeds maybe that just makes them a little more dangerous if they're not raised correctly or not treated correctly, because they have the capabilities of causing more damage than other dogs.
Well, it's the strength. If you have I oftentimes tell people, because one of our rescues, for those that don't know, is a Pit Bull, mostly Pit Bull. And then our other rescue is a Doberman. And I tell people that it's kind of like if you were going to get in a fight with somebody and there was like this scrawny little person in the corner that you could, weighed 80 pounds and couldn't fight versus like a 220-pound MMA fighter, who would you want to fight?
Right.
And the bigger dogs, the stronger dogs, and like the Pit Bulls, they've got the muscle mass and the ability to fight,
Right. The jaw strength.
in the jaw strength, and it can make them scary. I'd much rather get bit by a Chihuahua than I would by one of our dogs for sure. So I totally get that. I also respect people having fear. Like when I walk Zero, when somebody's coming our way, we just cross the street because I don't even want to deal with people freaking out or anything. It's not worth it.
I talked last week. Was it last week about going to Disneyland?
Mm-hmm.
And I mentioned how we went to the cantina.
Mm-hmm.
And so because they shuffle you in and out of there, they put you right next to other people. So you're kind of just chit chatting with other people around you. Like, so we were at a table with some other people that we didn't know. So this group of 4 came in. It was 3 gals and a guy, and they start talking to us. And this gal's telling us a story about something or other. She has her sleeve rolled up, and all of a sudden, my lady friend looks over and goes, "Oh my God, what happened?" And on her forearm is this just fucking massive gash that is healing. And she goes, "Oh, I got bit by a pit bull."
Oh,
and I'm like, okay, well, so what was the story here? She's like, totally my fault. And I'm going to tell you, after hanging around her for 20 minutes, probably was her fault. But it was some guy she knew. It was his dog. She had been around the dog, played with the dog before. They were at a party. They were drunk. And she like stepped to the guy to like call him out on something.
Yeah.
And the dog just fucking leapt at her. She's like, it's lucky I put my arm up because he was leaping for my face or neck or whatever.
Yeah.
And he just didn't let go. So she was in the emergency room. She was like way, drugged up on painkillers. She was looking over at her arm, and you remember the scene in is it? I guess the end of Empire Strikes Back, where Luke's playing with his new hand,
right?
You know, and you see the little gears going. She's like, that's what it looked like. Like you
Yeah.
could see my muscles twitching when I would move my fingers and stuff. It was so exposed and gashed.
Ugh, yeah.
Yeah, just nasty stuff. But she admitted that it was, it was her own fault for doing that. But like you said, if it was a Chihuahua,
Right.
it wouldn't have mattered.
Right. I mean, and
So you said to be careful.
That's the thing. And I don't think it's as an easy open and shut case as people on both sides want to make it.
Right.
Oh, these dogs are amazing if they're treated well and everything's fine and blah blah blah, and then people that says, oh, they should all be killed. I mean, they're amazing until they get upset about something.
Right.
And
because their reaction is so.
They're quick little bastards.
Well, that and just their reaction is so impactful. Like it's not like it's just going to be like, oh,
it's not going to be a graze. Yeah.
No. So we should set them free and let them roam the countryside.
I think so. Like dingoes.
Dingoes for life.
That all being said, I absolutely love the breed and love our dogs, but I also think like they should go to responsible people that know how to care for them.
Probably,
which is actually how we ended up with our Doberman 9 was because a rescue organization here knew that I had or that we had a Doberman before and how to deal with the breed and what they needed, because they didn't want to just have somebody come into a rescue and think like, oh, this is a cool looking dog and take it and not know.
Yeah.
But she's also a big baby, which is good. And she's very pointy too.
I love 9.
What real quick before we get out of here, I did want to get your opinions on what about pet modifications like cropping and docking of dogs or declawing of cats or painting of goldfish?
Painting of goldfish?
Yeah, I don't know if it's a thing, but I think people should start.
I was going to say, is that a thing?
Yeah,
hermit crabs.
But they say that's the worst one of the worst pets you can have because they're really not made to be in a cage.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's a good question. So, like when you talk about spading, spaying.
Yeah.
Spading, a whole different thing. Spaying and neutering. I don't know. That almost goes along the lines of, should you circumcise your child before they have a say in the matter? It's kind
absolutely
of one of those
100%. Yes. Oh, sorry.
Circumcise. Yeah. Keep it clean, man.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I don't have a strong of opinion on that particular piece, other than the fact that I've watched my 2 cats get in heat before I took them in, and I was like, oh my God, they're just miserable.
Right.
So but when it comes to the whole cropping and docking thing, and like especially when it comes to declawing, that's a tough one, because if your cat's going to be, you really just need to commit to having an outdoor cat, I guess, because or an indoor outdoor cat, whatever, because cats rip shit up. And so unless you're prepared to have your house thrashed, you're tempted to declaw them, but then that just becomes a whole thing. Like we didn't declaw the last 2 cats I had, but we did declaw the cat when I was a kid. But the poor cat would sit there and like try to like do his his grind thing with his nails. There was nothing there. But with our other 2, we just kind of tried to train them and make sure that they didn't do that stuff. But it's a lot of work because they're just their natural inclinations.
That's their
they want to start at claw and stuff. So I don't know. I feel like you probably shouldn't declaw cats. That's pretty brutal.
Yeah,
but I don't know about because your last Doberman
was cropped and docked.
Yeah, and what's the impetus for that?
Now it's for look. Back in the day was so nothing could grab onto its ears or tail.
Gotcha. Okay.
But where we live, you're not allowed to have your cat declawed. Or your dog's cropped and docked. Both of our dogs are natural, which is hilarious because Dobermans look very different when they're natural with the long ass tail and big Dumbo ears.
Yeah, they look much more not passive, but I don't know. They look a little
they
more
just don't
friendly.
look as aggressive. Yeah,
right, exactly.
When I was young, our cat was declawed. I think it was a thing back then. Like when we were kids, it just cats got. House cats got declawed. They're like freaking rip those fingers off. I don't care. I wouldn't declaw a cat now if I was to have a cat. It does seem, cruel. But at the same time, I was talking with somebody and I was like, if I was a Doberman, I'd want to be cropped and docked. That's the
Because
look I would
you
want.
want to look cool as fuck.
Yeah, I want the spiked collar. I want the whole thing.
Like cigarette behind the ear.
Exactly. Dobermans are known for their smoking habits.
That's what gets them in the end. That's why they have a short lifespan.
That's right. But I can see that it's not fair to make that decision for the dog until they're ready, until they're older, when they're in their teenage years, and you talk to them.
You can have a conversation about it.
Yeah.
We're thinking about getting you cropped and docked.
Yeah.
Huh?
And I kind of wish that people would do that with their kids that have penises and just wait.
Kids that have penises.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then just wait and say, when they're 13, like, well, we wanted you to be part of the conversation.
Right.
But because you're still a minor, I'm just letting you know it's going to happen.
It's going to hurt like hell.
Yeah. So you're welcome. You could have maybe never have known that this was even a thing, or now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. I'll never forget, taking a piss one time in what was it, like 4th grade or 3rd grade or something. And my buddy Rex, who, not a dog.
No,
that was actually the name of a guy.
Well, some people like normal names for pets. Some people like pet names for kids.
Right. We were sitting around with Fido, and so Rex, we went to take a pee. He was like 3rd grade, and I caught the glance out of the corner of my eye. I was like, "What the fuck's going on over there?" He had I think he was either born in England or whatever it was, not as common wherever he was from, and so he was rocking that full flesh.
Freaking intact, as we like
exactly right,
like in the dog world.
In the dog world,
he's intact.
Well, should we look at some advice?
Yes, we should. Somebody, this comes from B.
Hold the phone.
Should we say what the section is? Yeah.
Yeah, let's just say that first. This is called Take It From Us, and we're looking for you, the listener, to submit your questions if you have anything you want to run by us as far as if you're, stuck and don't know what to do in a situation, or just looking for some advice on how to handle the situation. reasonsardebatable@gmail.com. You can email us. You can reach out to us on Twitter @reasonsare, and we'll break down your dilemma, provide you some really valuable insight, and or do the best we can. So who do we have first here? Or who do we have up this week?
This question comes from B.nice.lady.
Ooh,
and I don't know if that's saying like be nice lady or I be the nice lady.
Ooh, be nice lady sounds a little forceful.
Be nice lady.
Yeah. Jesus.
So be nice lady asks, excuse me.
You made me clear my throat.
I know.
Let us clear our throats.
Be nice lady asks, what should I do with my stimulus check?
Weed.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I was going to say
not weed.
Go on eBay and buy a bunch of the old Beanie Babies because they're only going to go up in price.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah. What is it? I think the stimulus checks for most people would be $1,200. $1,200 worth of Beanie Babies.
And you'll probably get that check sometime in, I don't know what, like just before Christmas maybe?
If you're lucky.
Yeah, so it'll be a good time to buy those Beanie Babies.
When money doesn't even matter anymore.
No, it won't.
No.
So, or maybe it's a good time to get involved in the stock market.
There you go.
I would take it to a casino. Let's just fucking let it ride.
Well, you're going to have to wait till they open again. But yeah.
Well, I thought did they close? There's one that's near us. Maybe it has closed by now. But it was, it's on a reservation.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not required to adhere to the same rules. And so I think they were staying open beyond orders to not be open.
Hell yeah.
But I don't know if I can't remember if they still are or not. So,
well, there you go.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, you can't go to Vegas anymore. Vegas looks fucking weird, man.
I'm thinking half weed, half Beanie Babies.
Weed and Beanie Babies.
Yep.
That's a good.
Mm-hmm.
Does that help?
Weeded beanies.
And when you're gonna answer us, be nice, lady.
Be nice, lady.
I don't know. What would you do if you were like down on your luck? Because you're not in this. As you've pointed out on your other show, Dark Angels and Pretty Freaks. For those who don't know, very fortunate to be in a situation where you're not hurting at this point.
Not yet.
The situation, due to the economic issues, and so, yeah. What would you do if you were like? Do you just invest in the toilet paper? Do you stock up on food? What do you do?
So if you get
you're still
the
gonna
check
go Beanie Babies,
and you don't really need it, is that what you're saying?
If you don't need it, or what if you are like in real dire situation? I guess you just have to.
Then what you need to survive, whatever you need, food.
Yeah.
Rent maybe.
No, you don't have to pay rent right now.
Oh, good. Thank God for that.
You don't have to pay rent. Your landlords wouldn't be paying their mortgage on the property, and the banks are fucked.
Oh, give it to the banks. Be nice.
There
be
you
nice,
go.
lady.
You should be nice, lady. Give it to the banks. Hi. Just walk in.
Just
you can't
throw
walk
it
in.
on the ground.
You can't walk in.
That's right. You can just throw it at the door. Tape it to the door.
You throw it through the little mail slot.
The old school mail slot.
But no note or anything.
Nothing. Just $1,200 right there.
And do the thing when you write the check where you endorse it over to somebody else, like pay to the order of Wells Fargo. Boom.
Right.
There you go.
Done.
I did my part. I hope we helped you.
Yeah, and drop it off at a bank that isn't yours. So when they look at the name, they can't even go onto the records and go,
who this person is. Why did they give us their $1,200? It's just a bad decision.
This is terrible. Or,
why didn't they go with the weed? Should've gone with the weed.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Anyway, I hope we helped you.
I think we did.
Well, thank you for listening to our show. You can find us and share your thoughts at Reasons Are, and Neil is
at AngelsFreak7.
You can email us your advice questions at reasonsaredebatable. I just realized that I have it written down because I have this little blurb written down so I don't forget to say it. I have reasons are debated. Reasons are debatable at gmail.com. Don't get that wrong. If you have not gone out and written a review for the show, please do. We would really appreciate it. And tell somebody about the show, and so that we can grow together.
Yep.
And you can go to get some merch. If you go to our site, we're working on updating our webpage that's at reasonsaredebatable.com so that it'll have a lot more information as far as buying us a cup of coffee, kofi.com/radpod, or going and buying some merch, t-shirts, mugs, etc. if you're interested in doing that as well.
Yeah, and if you want to go check out some merch, we do have some fun stuff. You can go to tpublic.com/store/DAPF pod. It's under the Dark Angels and Pretty Freaks. But if you go to TeePublic and search Dark Angels and Pretty Freaks or Reasons Are Debatable, it'll come up.
There you go. So until next time.
Peace out, homie.
Bye.